Greeting dear viewers. Welcome to another episode of People's Talk, organized by volunteers of the Creative Society Project. In this show, people have an opportunity and space to open up and talk honestly about problems in our society that disturb them. The goal of this show is to raise awareness of the current situation in our society, find common solutions to these problems, and mainly build another format of society. My co-host for today is Kate. Hello, Kate. How are you doing today?
Hello, Monica. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing the information regarding the format of this wonderful show. And I would like to say that today we have three amazing guests with us. These guys are from different countries, but they basically united and devoted some of their free time to share their thoughts, share their opinions regarding the topics that we will discuss today. And I would like to introduce you to Viktoria Benova. She's from Slovakia originally, but currently she studies in Denmark. Hi, Viktoria. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much for joining. And also we have today with us Lucas Torres from the United Kingdom. Hello, Lucas. How are you?
Hi. Good. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for connecting. And also we have Sama Payne from Cameroon. Hello, Sama. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm glad to be part of this team.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. Thank you for, the information that you will share together with us and your experience as well. So before the start of this conversation, we did some research together with Monica regarding the state of educational systems all over the world. And since you guys are students, we are sure that you can share some information, some of your experience, regarding this sphere, this field of activity of our current society. So basically, we prepared a couple of facts that were pretty alarming and shocking for us. So I'd like to pass the floor to Monica because she has one really important, thing to share with you today.
Yes, Kate, those statistics are very alarming. So let's start with the first one. In Malawi, there is an average of 130 children per classroom in first grade. In Chad, 1 in 7 schools has potable water, and one in 4 has a toilet.
Gosh. And yes, I also did some research regarding this. And according to Global Citizen magazine, in some of the world's poorest countries, we know that, the countries that have low income states and stuff like that, the low cost of living. So basically, in some of the poorest countries, there are up to 95% of children. Can you imagine 95% of children with disabilities that are out of school? So basically, the schools are not equipped with proper, equipment for the disabled children, and they cannot attend school. So basically, they cannot be provided with education, which is shocking.
Yes, it's very shocking because education became some kind of thing that not everyone can afford. And for example, in 2019, an estimated 260 million children worldwide did not have an access to school education. And so social inequality was a major cause. And guys, I would like to ask you, Lucas, could you please start? Could you please comment on that? What do you think about these alarming statistics?
Well, I believe everyone should have access to education. Mostly seeing how in the Western is like such a basic thing that everyone is supposed to have, and we kind of forget that. Yeah, and without education, there's not really a society. So obviously, it's something that everyone should have access to. It's quite alarming, all these facts that you just said. And my family is from Colombia, and there's a lot of little villages as well that are missing a lot of basic rights such as schools and everything. So
yeah, thank you so much, Lucas. Thank you for sharing that. And actually, education is our basic necessity, is our basic right that we all should have by default, right? Viktoria, what do you think about that? What can you say, regarding the facts that we just mentioned, and overall the situation with education in the world? What do you think?
Well, we need to consider that without education, you can't really find a job and continue with your life, right? So in my home country, in Slovakia, my parents would tell me that I need to have at least master's degree, right? So for me, it's been a part of my life all the time. But I can imagine that it's a problem for countries that are poor, and also you mentioned the disabled people. It must be very hard. And right now I'm in Denmark, in Aarhus, and I know that they are really focused on having universal design. So it's accessible for disabled people in most of the places. And also schools are designed in a way that disabled people are able to go there. So I think we should get inspired by Denmark in this.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And I guess Sama had some issues with internet connection, so maybe he will reconnect and he could also share his thoughts on this topic. And I would like to ask you guys, since you are currently in the state of studying, right? You're currently involved in this process. And what problems in this sphere, right, sphere of education concern you? What things do you see that can be changed and can be improved in your universities, for example, that you attend, or in general educational systems in your countries?
In Slovakia, what I really don't like is that the studying is basically just about memorizing and writing tests and stuff like that. But here in Denmark, we work in teams and we focus on solving real problems that are going to be there when we get our job, right? So it's called problem-based learning. So they give us a problem and we need to cooperate together and solve it. And I think that's the best way to get prepared for the reality when you get a job. And you also cooperate with other people, so you're not just by yourself. You can always, get help from your friends, your colleagues. So that's really great. But what I don't like about the system in Denmark is that it's really just one way of looking at things. Let's say that you have one point of view and you cannot really say when you have some different idea. That's also connected to the information on the internet, that some information is false and you have no chance of finding out what's wrong and what's not. So, yeah.
Yes, Vicky, that is correct. And as you mentioned, cooperation is very important because we are human beings and we it's our need to cooperate together and to work together. And also we would like to ask Lucas, what problems concern you in the sphere of education?
Well, I was raised in Spain, so until secondary school, I was educated in Spain. And then I went to America and I spent also a year studying in America. Now I'm in England, so I think I kind of compare them all. And I believe the same problem as you said, that everything is so focused on one thing. Not one thing, but there's only one way to do everything. So everything is very, like education in general, I think is very privatized. So it's only convenient to make the system work. So obviously it starts on education. So it makes people to work in a society that works only for this powerful people, I guess. So yeah, you don't really know what's real, what is not. Mostly now everything is like so chaotic, and then all the fake news and COVID and the war and everything. So yes. I remember when my teachers here in England, they were like, I don't know why we are studying this, but it's coming on the exam, so you have to learn it. And it's all like from memory, and you just have to learn for an exam. So that exam allows you to go to university, not just for life, but only for one specific test that asks you these specific questions, and that's the only thing that you need to know. But yes, I was in Spain. I was studying in a Steiner school, rural Steiner. I don't know if you've heard of it. Waldorf school, Waldorfschule, German education system, and it's pretty good. I recommend it if anyone wants to do the research, because I believe that's a very good way of teaching kids how to grow, like how to learn and how to act in a team and work in group, and yes, all of that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And that's a really good point that you guys mentioned regarding like one directional way of providing the information, right? Like if you have an idea, if you have, I don't know, some kind of enlightenment, right? And you want to share it with the world, but you cannot, because this is not something that is, let's say, accepted by the current way the educational system works. Sama is again back with us. And Sama, I would like to ask you to comment on the facts. I don't know if you have heard the facts that we mentioned regarding, like, the fact that 260 million children worldwide did not have access to school education, for example, and this was due to social inequality, or, the fact that in the poorest countries, around 95% of children with disabilities do not have access to school at all. So what do you think about that? And also, the following question would be like, what problems or issues in educational systems concern you, affect you, and what do you think can be improved or changed?
Thank you. I'm from Cameroon, and in fact, we are considered one of the less developed countries, so we actually face these problems more. The problem of education, like the others have said, we have a stereotype way of teaching. It's a stereotype plan of teaching. That's when you are already in the classroom, but there is a principal difficulty in areas like mine. People don't actually have the access to education. When there are certain tribes where I come from, the girl child is not allowed to go to school. There are other instances where we have the handicapped children. They don't go to school maybe because of the stigma and stuff like that. So that's before you even get into the classroom to have the problem of the stereotype teaching plan. That's one way to reason, or maybe they think for you, they tell you what you should think and not how to think, something like that. Yes. So before they even get into they don't have the opportunity to get into the classroom. And those who even have the possibility to get into the classroom, in some enclave areas, they don't have the teachers to teach them. So that's like one of the principal difficulties. But there are areas that are accessible. There are schools going on, but the teaching, the curriculum is like way outdated. I mean, they don't teach like recent stuff. they don't update the curriculum. In fact, it's like, I don't know how to put it, but it's not updated. The teaching is not updated. Yes, we are basically still backward. It's not practical. The teaching is not practical. We still learn just to write exams and stuff like that. All the practical issues.
Maybe Sama lost the connection, but yes, as Sama said, there are many people who do not have access to school, and it shouldn't be like that. Every person should have this right to comprehensive development, and education should be free and accessible to all of us. And Vicky, I would like to ask you, what role does education play in forming a well-developed society? What do you think?
Well, first of all, they should teach us how to pay taxes, how to, work with the bank and stuff like that, so that people, when they get out in the world, they have some idea how these things work. But if you're not specifically studying that, they don't teach you that in school. So I think that's the first thing that could be better right now. But I think also the subjects that they teach us are a way too specific, and we could maybe learn more about ourselves as human beings. What do we consist of? How to deal with our feelings and emotions, and a little bit different stuff, even farming and growing food. It's like not a usual part of education, and I think that could be very beneficial for our society, to teach kids from young age how to do these things.
And how do you envision the sphere of education in the creative society?
I hope that we will be free to learn what we want without false information and without being criticized for our opinions. And we could be able to express ourselves so that we can learn from each other, not just from, curriculums.
Oh, that's amazing. I think that would be just wonderful. And, it would kind of like give us this freedom to not just study the curriculum, but go deeper, go into more interesting areas of our life and, explore it. And Lucas, what do you think? What is the role of education in the well-developed society? How important this sphere is, and how do you envision it in the creative society? What would it be like?
Well, I think it's the main structure of a society, education, because it depends on how do you educate people, then how it turns out in the future, the society that is created. I like, for example, in Japan, I think it's until they are not like 6, 7 that they only teach them values and how to be like a good person and how to be a human being. And then it's not until a later age that they start learning about numbers and like maths and like all those things that we are taught since like as soon as possible. But what?
Yeah, creative society. What this sphere, the sphere of education would look like.
Yeah, how as Viktoria said, teaching people like human beings our actual like what we are, what we should. I don't know, emotions, how to be able to do basic stuff that we don't really learn until we are like, we actually have to, and we don't have any other option because we are already like having to pay taxes and all of that. But how I would say it, now more like a bit more spiritual as well, and be respectful with everyone, And then that's when you start, maybe at home, when you go at home, then with your parents, you can actually, I don't know, read a book, start learning how to read. But then at school, it should be something more of a group, of an actual like environment to share with other people, and not just focus on, because I believe that right now everyone is very not selfish, but self-centered, because we are just very reserved in general, with our phones now, and everything. Everyone is like not really seeing the other person. So I think that's something that is essential in any society. And yeah, that's it.
I love, guys, how you both said that it's some kind of freedom. Some kind of freedom should be in education, and yes, that's how it's going to be in creative society, that every person can choose what you want to study and what kind of topic are you interested in, so you can deep down and like explore this information, and you will not be stopped by question of money, because education will be accessible for everyone. And Sama, I would like to ask you, what do you think, how important is education in a well-developed society, and how do you envision education in the creative society?
Well, I think that the importance of education cannot be overemphasized anymore. So I think that in a creative society, everybody should have the opportunity to go to school. Right from a tender age, everybody should have the opportunity. It's very important. Then we should also equally have the opportunity to reach out to those local villagers or those local populations that think that those education is for a particular group of people. Education should be for everybody, and we should not teach people what to think, but rather they should teach them how to think, how to be able to think for themselves, what path they should choose for themselves. One great philosopher said, life is a great field crossed by several paths, and no path is superior to another. It all depends on where you're going to. So I think that we should actually not minimize anybody's path that the person has chosen for himself in life. We should rather help the person develop from a tender age. We should not choose a path for a person. We should actually let people choose their path, their career paths, or other ways of living that they choose to. So that's what I think.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I really loved how you emphasized on the fact that education should be available to every person on the planet Earth. Equally available. I mean, we should all have the opportunities to study. This is our basic necessity. And since basically upbringing and education is like the platform, the fundamental thing that then gives us the opportunity to develop as personalities, to grow and to then contribute to society, I think this sphere should be one of the main ones to concentrate on in every country, because, you are raising those children who then just in a couple of years will be the ones who will be acting, towards the prosperity, right? Towards the development of the society, of the country on the local and on the global level. So this is something that we really need to pay attention to. And, also, I really liked how you, said that basically in education, like we need to provide the tools to the children and teach them how to use those tools, right? But we should not define their path for them. We should not say, you will be doing this because, for example, let's say you will be doing law in school because this is highly paid job and we need lawyers, right? Or you will be doing let's say you will be studying medicine because we need more doctors. Yes, but this is something that a person should be willing to do, not because of the money, but because he feels like doing it. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for sharing that. And I'd like to pass the floor to Monica because she would like to touch upon another really important subject.
Yes, thank you so much, Kate. So as you said, it is important to learn how to think. And I think it is very important in our current and modern society to know how to think, because we are surrounded by information all the time. We are confronted with mass media all the time. And most information is usually biased, unreliable, or fake. And many people consider this fake information correct and truthful. And sometimes it actually is very hard to recognize and distinguish what is right and what is false. And Vicky, we know that you're preparing the work about CO2 and the real causes of climate change, because right now media very actively supports and promotes the theory of CO2, and that CO2 is that cause of real climate change. And what is more, that it was caused by anthropogenic factor, meaning caused by us humans. But we already know that this statement is not correct. And therefore, I would like to ask you, what do you think, how important is it to reflect information in mass media and in society truthfully and openly?
Well, for sure it is important, but right now, as you said, the mainstream idea is that the CO2 is causing global warming, and they even teach us that at school. We have a sustainability class, which is basically just about reducing CO2 emissions. But everyone who studied the history of our planet and the climate knows that the changing of temperature is a natural effect, and man-made CO2 doesn't have any effect on that. So I decided to write my bachelor thesis to spread information among my professors and my colleagues at school. And I don't know how else I could, share this information, because it's very hard, because it's when you just check on the internet, it's the first thing that we need to reduce CO2. And it's very hard to persuade people to even consider that that might not be true, because the official sites say that. So that's what I've been trying to do with my bachelor thesis, to spread information. And
thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you for that, because I also did some research, and for example, I found out that let's say one eruption of the volcano, let's say somewhere in Kamchatka or elsewhere, emits more CO2 than we as humanity do for 1 year, with all our production, all the plants and all the cars, or all the cows, and stuff like that. And I was shocked, because this theory is so spread all around the internet, all around the informational field, and they make us, pay attention to that, to something that does not really make such a big, effect on the global scale. So this is really strange, and we really need to, have more people like you who basically devote their, I can say some of your life, right? Because this is your life that you devote to studying this subject and then spreading this information, and basically bringing awareness that there are some things, yes, anthropogenic factor did some bad things to the to the environment, right? To the ecology and environment, but there is more to that. There is more story to that, and there is more facts, scientific facts as well. Lucas, what do you think about the fact that we need to basically provide truthful information in mass media? We need to share it openly with the society, give it to the publicity, so that people could have, the real view on things, like what is going on right now in the world. What do you think about that?
Well, it's definitely true. I believe it's really difficult to achieve that, though, because there's so much fake information that is actually so unbelievable. Yeah, we just need more people spreading, and also I think in our age or in our generation is also very difficult to listen to other people and actually pay attention to what they are saying, because we are too busy thinking about getting our degree, or what are we going to do tomorrow, how am I going to do this. So mostly now with mental health issues, everyone is too worried about their own issues that it's really difficult to listen to other people, and at the same time all you see online is just trash basically. So yes, it's just spreading the word and trying to make as many people
what do you
just talk about it.
What do you think? How can we spread the word? Like, what tools can we use, for example?
Well, I think you have to learn what is effective at the time. Like right now, everyone is, for example, I don't know, on TikTok, or everyone is watching Netflix, everyone is watching. So get a way of changing that into your favor and making something that is appealing for someone to watch it. I don't know how to explain it. I'm only thinking about it, but since like a year ago, I really have the idea that hopefully someday I want to create like no, I don't know how to explain it, like a TV show for like say like that, but with
like a podcast, right?
But the actual facts, it's not like a fiction. It's more like in the real world. But instead of showing the world, for example, a McDonald's, instead of being a McDonald's, will be just something like I don't know how to explain it. But I really think that you need to get into what is mainstream to be able to change everything from, I don't know, to be able to communicate something and that people actually listen to it, and it's actually like the people, movies like The Matrix, for example, that everyone uses it, like, oh, The Matrix, everyone, and actually people talks about it and says, oh, the government is like The Matrix, things like that, but more informative, like with the CO2, that I think that is something that should be more talked about. And yeah, I think, I have ideas in my head that hopefully slowly are coming out soon. I don't know.
Great, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
It's very hard to even talk about this to your closest friends, because some people are so close-minded they cannot even, consider that the things could be different, and that what the media is telling are lies and it's not, the truth. So it's up to us to find some ways to spread this information.
Sure.
I would like to add that I got really interested, well, before knowing the Creative Society and stuff, I started to do a lot of research thanks to some stuff that I watched on Netflix. It is, I don't know, because the main concept is that the mainstream media is not doing anything, but lately, since COVID mostly, I've been seeing a lot of different things around that seem to spark that idea of that maybe there's something to do, like a change to make. And I believe that somehow the mainstream media, not the mainstream media, but specific things are around that people should start listening to more. Yeah, I don't know. It's getting there.
Yes, thank you so much. And as you said, indeed, right now, mass media, they do not belong to humanity. They do not belong to people, but they belong to few individuals. And they put that information that want us to believe. But in the creative society, mass media will belong to all humanity, and information will be reliable and truthful. And right now, let's watch a short video of benefits that await us in the creative society.
The Creative Society. A society where human life is the highest value, where people respect each other. A safe world without wars or cataclysms. A society where people are confident about the future. Affordable food and housing for all. Work is for 4 days a week, 4 hours a day. Free education and health care. Economic stability. A world without inflation and crises. Available technology. Solution of environmental problems. Would you like to live in such a society? It's not a utopia. It can be our future. A future that we can build together.
Isn't that amazing? I would love to live in such a world. And what do you think, guys? Would you like to live in the creative society? And what do you think, what can each and every person do right now to contribute in building such a world, everywhere in each country? Vicky, what do you think?
Well, I think everyone would like to live in a creative society if they knew what it is about and what it includes and how their lives would be improved. But the problem is many people are scared because they don't know that what if it's just another, scam or type of, just a format that is too utopian and it just cannot work. So firstly, I think we need to spread information and show people how are we gonna get there. And then just everyone who is a specialist in some things should just go in that direction. And then we would have the best doctors, the best leaders and stuff like that. So everyone should just find their space and get better in that area.
Yes, thank you so much. Exactly how you said that right now it is very important to inform people that there is a chance how to live completely differently. And Lucas, I would like to also ask you, how can each and every one of us contribute now to build a creative society?
Spreading the spreading the information. I also think that obviously I guess it's an early stage, but being able to have more like these meetings, but each person in their country be able to like, hey, look, down the street and we are having this meeting if you want to come, more like face to face, and be able to socialize and have more contact with other people and see that it's real, that it's not just a video on YouTube, or it's not just some people talking about it online, but it's also like happening. as you said, many people is very unsure of like, oh, maybe it's a scam, maybe it's just something else. Like everyone talks about a lot of things. But being able to show people that there's a plan and there's it's not just talking, it's actually this is happening, and we have this, and we have these experts, and these experts have this information, and this information this, and then if you know engineering, you can go to this person, and if you are scientist, you can go to this person, and this person can have a connection and have like a net of people that,
Thank you so much. Like a huge network of specialists from different areas that can communicate with each other, share their ideas, share their experience that they already have, in order to come up with some new solutions, new things that can improve our life, our everyday life, in a fast pace. That's amazing. And thank you so much for sharing your ideas on how we can, inform people, and that we really need to do so, because, indeed, if a person does not know what this project is about or what is going on, like why are all these people, having these discussions and stuff, like why are they doing this in their free time? Why are they not going to the movies, for example, instead, right? This gives people the feeling that, okay, that's something interesting going on there. I need to do some research. I need to, pay attention to that. And also another great thing that I really liked is that you need to speak to people. You need to socialize, because, whenever it's just some kind of video on the YouTube or just some kind of article on some kind of website, that's one thing. But when you communicate with each other, when you speak to each other, like from heart to heart, then you really feel what it's like, and you really feel why people are devoting so much time in order to build the creative society, build a better world. Because we right now, if we take a look at the society, it seems like we're already living in this strange utopian kind of society when we have wars, we have hunger, we have, so many people who are basically lacking the basic necessities that everyone should have. So isn't it time to, for a little change, or not even a little change, so that we could all, live a better life and just feel happy without all the mental health issues and without all the problems that we currently face? I think that would be amazing. And let's watch another video. It's a really cool one. It's short, but it's about the way how you can inform people, and about the importance of the informational stage of the project Creative Society. So our technical support, please turn on the video.
The first and most important step in building the Creative Society is to let everyone know that such a format exists, and the tremendous benefits it will bring to every single person. How can this be achieved? You can. Share the information about the Creative Society on social media. Tell your friends, neighbors, and coworkers, pretty much everyone you know. Tell them how they would benefit in the Creative Society. Wear a piece of clothing with the logo of the Creative Society, such as a t-shirt or a baseball cap. Put a sticker with the Creative Society logo on your car, or install a yard sign. Leave the information about the Creative Society in coffee shops, doctor's offices, your local grocery store, or a hair salon. Don't be shy and talk about the Creative Society on podcasts, radio shows, and TV to share this life-saving idea. If you are a business owner, place the Creative Society banner on your website, or add the Creative Society logo on your products. You can place advertisements about the Creative Society in mass media, newspapers, magazines, and on billboards. These are just some examples of how information about the Creative Society can be spread. I am sure you can think of other methods on how to inform the world about the Creative Society. The faster the majority of the population is informed, the sooner we can form a public request or an electoral demand. Only then we can get to the next stage of implementing the Creative Society at the legislative level.
how easy is it to inform people about the Creative Society project? And what is amazing is that right now people are so open to this project because we are living in so many crises, and they concern us all. And when you ask people what kind of problems do they disturb them, and they start to talk about all these problems we have in our society, in this inflation, energetic crisis, and then you ask them, and what kind of world would you like to live in? And they open up and they start describing the world without wars, and a peaceful world where their life will be indeed the highest value. So yes, this is the first stage of building the Creative Society. It's the information stage. So it is very important to inform all people on this planet, because if we want to build something, first of all, we need to know about it, and we have to be aware of that. And as the last question, I would like to ask you guys, what would you like to say to the whole world and all people out there? Vicky, maybe you can start.
Yeah. Don't be scared. I think everything is better than the format we have now. So really, it's our responsibility also as the young generation to build our future and fight for it. And that's what I'm also doing. I was also at the beginning a little bit shy, but now I feel like, joining groups, just spreading the information. And I believe we can do it, and we will see the Creative Society in our near future.
Great. Lucas, and what do you think? What would you like to say to the whole world?
Yeah, don't be scared. We just imagine if we all got together, like what we'll be able to do. Like if right now, I don't know, people like Elon Musk, for example, that's just an example, is going to Mars by himself, or for example, imagine if, I don't know, if we could actually work together and make a nice place to just live, where you don't have to worry about what's going to happen in this place and what's going to happen tomorrow, or just being able to live and develop as a human race, I guess, and grow and not destroy each other. It's possible, more than possible, and just need to get together and stop for one day. If everyone just stopped one day and just looked and just talked to the person next to them and just like, hey, let's do it. It's really easy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that, guys. And indeed, we as humans, as people, we have tremendous opportunities, especially when we unite, because, when people get together, when they share their ideas, it's like the informational field around them works for them. Yes, when you're alone, when you're smart, when you're, just like you said, not afraid, you can do a lot. But when you have a lot of such people, you can do way much better, and you can do way more beautiful things for yourself, for your family, and for society that surrounds you. So, beautiful future is not something that is going to come up upon us one day. It's something that we all need to build together. It's something that we all need to work on and work for. So, guys, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, for sharing your experience, for sharing your ideas. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, Sama got disconnected probably due to the internet connection issues. This is also something that we need to fix in the creative society. We need to make internet available in all places, regardless of, where you're at, and regardless of, let's say, weather conditions, for example. So I'd like to address right now to our viewers, if you would like to participate in such kind of people's talk conversations or in some kind of other shows, please don't hesitate to contact us. Write to our email, info@creativesociety.com, or comment below this video. And also don't hesitate to share this video with your friends, acquaintances, because one share can lead to amazing connections and, other interesting stories, interesting ideas that can contribute to building the creative society in your country, in your city, and worldwide as well. Also, if you feel like this project is something that really touches your heart and that you really want to make this change in the world, don't hesitate to hop on the creativesociety.com website and click on the red button, join us. Right there you can choose the way you would like to participate, and the volunteers of the project will contact you, and then it can go on, and you can also become a host of such shows or participant, or you can be involved in some other activities that volunteers of the Creative Society do. So one more time, thank you so much, and I pass the floor to Monica.
Thank you so much, Kate, Lucas, Vicky, and Sana, who is not here right now, but thank you so much for such inspiring show, and thank you so much for your honesty, but mainly for your active participation in building a different society. And it is so amazing that you understand this importance of being a responsible person. And right now, I would like to address our viewers, on November 12th, 2022 at 3 p.m. GMT, an international online forum, Global Crisis, Our Survival is in Unity, will take place with 150 languages of simultaneous interpreting. This global conference will be organized by volunteers from 180 countries, and I'm sincerely inviting you to join this broadcast because crucial information about crisis, about climate change will be mentioned, and experts will confirm this with scientific facts, and eyewitnesses will share their own experience. Please let all your friends know about this forum. And right now, let's watch a trailer.
What if each one of us has an opportunity to live in a completely different reality? What if you could change the world? What would that world be like? What if science would not serve private interests? What technologies would everyone already have? How would the world be transformed? Have you ever thought about this?
Welcome to the real world.
Creative Society is a world where everything serves to improve your life every minute. In the Creative Society, you will have access to matter replicators to create clothes and food for free.
Enjoy your meal.
Free education anywhere in the world. Spacious free housing by birthright. In the Creative Society, you will have access to free high-quality healthcare. Body regeneration capsule in every home.
Your body is completely restored.
Safe transport and a unified emergency service everywhere. You are eligible for unconditional basic income of $10,000 a month. Here, you will become really free. Work 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. Paid vacation 2 months a year. Free journeys around the world. Interesting and busy life. In the creative society, all of this will be available to every person. Have you ever thought why you live in such a world? The right to life in the creative society is yours. Because you are a human. You deserve the best. Don't let your future be taken away. Launch a new reality. This autumn, November 12th, in all social networks and on various media platforms, with interpreting into 150 languages from the main project of humanity and international forum, Global Crisis. Our survival is in unity. Join